The light that could see through skin. The story of X-rays and Wilhelm Roentgen. Part Act Life before X-rays. Already shared, but I will rewrite and slightly expand here for flow. In the late 1800s, the world was changing quickly. Trains were faster, cities were bigger, electric lights were appearing in the streets. But in hospitals, doctors had the same problem they had faced for centuries. They could not see inside a living body without cutting it open. If a man fell from a horse and hurt his leg, the doctor had to guess whether the bone was broken. He would press and feel the leg. He might twist it gently and ask, "Does this hurt?" But he could not be sure. If a soldier was shot, the surgeon could see the entry wound. But where was the bullet now? Close to the heart? Inside the lung? The only way to know was to open the chest, a dangerous operation without modern anesthesia or antibiotics. Broken bones were a special challenge. Children who fell from trees might heal with bent legs or arms because the bone was set wrong. Factory workers with crushed hands might lose movement forever. Doctors had a few tools. Stethoscope to listen to the heart and lungs. Thermometer to measure fever. Ophthalmoscope to look inside the eye. But there was nothing to see, bones, lungs, or hidden injuries. The body was like a locked box, no one could look inside. By the 1890s, scientists dreamed of a tool that could see through skin. Some imagined a magic light. Others thought about invisible waves. It all sounded like science fiction. The world was waiting for a discovery. In a quiet German laboratory, a man named Wilhelm Roentgen was about to make it. Part 2. Who was Wilhelm Roentgen? Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen was born in 1845 in Lennep, a small town in Germany. When he was 3 years old, his family moved to the Netherlands. He grew up curious about how things worked. As a boy, Wilhelm loved building things. He made little machines and toys from wood and metal. He was quiet but determined. If something broke, he wanted to know why. School was not always easy for him. In fact, when he was a teenager, he was unfairly expelled from a technical school because of a misunderstanding. Someone thought he had drawn a rude picture of a teacher, but he hadn't. Because of this, he could not enter some universities in the normal way. But Wilhelm did not give up. He found other paths, studied hard, and finally entered the Polytechnic School in Zurich, Switzerland. He graduated as a mechanical engineer but fell in love with physics, the science of matter and energy. By the 1890s, Roentgen was a respected professor at the University of Würzburg in Germany. He spent long hours in his laboratory, studying electricity, light, and special glass tubes used for experiments. Part 10. The scientific world in the 1890s. At that time, scientists all over Europe were fascinated by something called cathode rays. These were streams of particles inside glass tubes with the air removed. When electricity passed through, the tube would glow. Some scientists noticed strange effects. Light glows on walls when the tube is near. Certain chemicals light up even without touching the tube. Physicists like William Crookes in England and Philipp Lenard in Germany were studying these effects. Nobody understood them completely. Some thought they were a kind of light. Others thought they were streams of matter. Roentgen had been working with Crookes tubes, special vacuum tubes, in his lab. He was careful, patient, and liked to work alone. Part chart. The strange glow in the laboratory. On the evening of November 8, 1895, Roentgen was alone in his laboratory. The room was dark, except for the faint glow from his equipment. He covered his Crookes tube with black cardboard to block the visible light. Then he turned on the power. Suddenly, he noticed something strange. On a bench a few feet away, a piece of paper painted with a chemical called barium platinum began to glow. It was glowing even though it was not connected to the tube. Roentgen was puzzled. The cardboard should have blocked the light. So how could the paper be glowing? He realized that some kind of invisible rays were coming from the tube, rays that could pass through cardboard. Part 5 First experiments. Roentgen began testing. He placed different objects between the tube and the glowing paper. A book, the glow still appeared. A sheet of wood, the glow appeared. A thick stack of cards, still glowing. But when he placed a piece of lead in the path, the glow stopped. These rays could pass through many materials, but not through dense metals like lead. He put his hand in front of the rays. He saw something he would never forget. A shadow of his own bones appeared on the glowing paper. He had seen inside himself. Part 6 Keeping the secret. Roentgen was careful. He didn't want to announce his discovery too soon. In science, big claims must be proven with clear evidence. For the next 7 weeks, he worked in secret. He locked the lab door when he worked. He even moved his bed into the lab so he could spend more hours testing. He called the invisible rays X-rays, the X meaning unknown. He tested how far they could travel, what they could pass through, and how they affected photographic plates. He learned that X-rays could pass through human flesh but not through bones. They could go through thin wood, paper, and even some metals. They made certain chemicals glow in the dark. Part 7 The famous hand. One December evening in 1895, Roentgen asked his wife, Anna Bertha, to help with an experiment. He placed her hand between the X-ray tube and a photographic plate. When the image developed, she saw her own bones and her wedding ring, a dark circle around one finger. Anna was shocked. She reportedly said, I have seen my death. Her reaction was understandable. No one in history had ever seen a living person's bones before. This photograph became famous. It was the first human X-ray image ever taken. Part 8 Telling the world. On December 28, 1895, Roentgen presented his first paper on a new kind of rays. He showed photographs of bones, metal objects inside boxes, and other examples. The news spread quickly. By January 1896, newspapers across Europe and America were talking about mysterious rays that can see through flesh. Some people were amazed, others were frightened. Cartoons appeared showing men using X-rays to see through ladies' dresses, a silly but real public fear. Part 9 The first medical uses. Doctors immediately saw the value. In February 1896, just weeks after the discovery, a surgeon in Glasgow used X-rays to find a needle in a woman's hand. Army doctors used them to locate bullets in wounded soldiers. Hospitals began building X-ray rooms. Patients no longer needed dangerous exploratory surgeries just to locate an injury. Part. The world reacts. The invention caused excitement across many fields. Medicine for diagnosing broken bones, lung diseases, and foreign objects. Engineering for checking inside machines without taking them apart. Science for studying crystals and atomic structure. But at first, nobody understood the risks. X-rays are a form of radiation. Too much exposure can damage skin and cells. In those early years, some operators developed burns or lost fingers. Part 11 Risks and Learning. By 1900, doctors began to see side effects. Red, blistered skin after long exposures. Hair loss in areas exposed to strong rays. It took decades to develop proper safety measures, lead aprons, shields, and shorter exposure times. Roentgen himself always avoided unnecessary exposure and lived to the age of 77. Part 12 Recognition. In 1901, Wilhelm Roentgen was awarded the first ever Nobel Prize in Physics. He was honored worldwide, but he remained humble. He refused to patent his discovery, saying it belonged to all humankind. He believed science should be shared, not sold. Part 13 The science behind it. X-rays are a form of electromagnetic radiation, like visible light, but with much shorter wavelengths. Their short wavelength lets them pass through soft tissues but not dense materials like bone or lead. When X-rays hit a photographic plate, a special detector, they create a shadow image. Bones appear white, soft tissues appear gray, and air appears black. Part 14, a new age in medicine. With X-rays, doctors could see broken bones without surgery, spot lung infections like pneumonia or tuberculosis, locate swallowed objects, plan surgeries more accurately. It transformed diagnosis and treatment. Part 15, stories from the early years. In 1897, during the Greco-Turkish War, a mobile X-ray unit was used on the battlefield. It helped surgeons locate bullets quickly, saving lives. One famous case involved a child who swallowed a small toy. Doctors could see it in the X-ray and removed it without guessing. Part 16, later developments. Over time, X-ray machines became safer and more powerful. By the mid-20th century, they were common in every major hospital. Today, X-rays are used alongside CT scans, MRI, and ultrasound. Part 17, Roentgen's later life. Roentgen remained a professor and continued research. He lived quietly, never seeking fame or wealth. During World War II, he refused to work on weapons, preferring peaceful science. He died in 1923, respected and loved by scientists worldwide. Part 18, the legacy of X-rays. Today, more than a century later, X-rays remain a cornerstone of medicine. They help diagnose millions of patients every day. From airports to engineering labs, the technology is everywhere. All because one man noticed a strange glow in his dark lab and chose to investigate. Key vocabulary for English learners. Invention, a new thing created. Laboratory, lab, a place for scientific experiments. Invisible, cannot be seen. Bone, hard part inside the body. Diagnosis, finding the cause of an illness. Radiation, energy moving through space. Safety measures, actions to protect from harm. Nobel Prize, famous award for great achievements.